Hey, it's Dennis O'Brien back on Let's Talk About It. It's great to be back, and it's great to have another guest with me who's not been gone too long from the studio. He's been here with me, I think, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and with Susan, and he was also on WILI this week with Chris Beaudry. The Chris Beaudry is the guy that runs the River Room. Okay, on right behind us here, and he's got a show now at 3 p.m. on Tuesdays. Okay, new show. I'm getting some help here from Matt Rupar. Anyway, my guest tonight is Willimantic Chief of Police Fabian Silva, and he's now becoming a regular on the show. He said he wants to be on all the time. No, but we're gonna have him on fairly often, and I want to get his deputy chief on sometime. I know he wants to get on, and also we have a new deputy chief in the fire department, and our chief of fire department chief was not available tonight. But anyway, we're here to talk about, we got beautiful weather right now, Chief, and we're hoping we have beautiful weather on Tuesday, August 5th, starting at 4 o'clock. And why is that?
That's correct, Dennis. First, thank you for having me on your show once again. I start feeling like a celebrity, as I was saying
You
from
are
the
a
beginning.
celebrity. Yeah.
I don't really like to be on the public, meaning like public speaking, but I'm getting used to. I'm getting used to. So yes, we are hoping for good weather next Tuesday. Then it's because we have what is called National Night Out. This is a nationwide event that it's been there for a while. It's been there since 1984. It was actually created by a gentleman in Pennsylvania uh, due to the strong belief of having like a good interaction between the community and their police departments. He was a true believer of neighborhood watch, and that is something that he initiated back in that time. And since then, this took off. This definitely became an important event for us as law enforcement, and a great opportunity to engage with the community and exchange ideas, discussions, to just making a better place to live.
So you, the police department especially, and the fire departments, I guess the Wyndham Fire Department will be involved too. I know Wyndham Center will be, from what I read. You will be inviting the community to come to the major, what we used to call the major parcel, Gilson Square, for a party. And there's going to be a lot of events, and there's going to be a lot of things going on, which we're going to talk about. But it's basically it's a free party. There'll be food. There'll be lots of police officers there, and firefighters, and to greet the public. And the whole purpose of it is to make for closer relationships between our public safety people here in the town of Wyndham, and most importantly, the city of Willimantic. In my situation, and the fire departments, and to you're going to demonstrate certain equipment you have, and there's going to be speakers. What else is going to happen?
Yeah, we have a ton of events going on. Dennis, we're gonna have a great time uh, showing, as you say, our equipment, our tools that are allowing us to do our job on these days. Technology that it was developed to help our law enforcement to fight crime. Right. Uh, the fire department is also going to be there, making some demonstrations of their equipment, allowing people to get close to the firefighters and the trucks and all the equipment that they also have. Yeah, from the police department behalf, we're gonna have canines over there. They're gonna be conducting what we call canine demo. Uh, in case that you don't remember, I mentioned that I was a canine handler for 6 years with my beloved Fina, and I used to go to different canine demos around the state, and I do remember actually doing a few here in Willimantic. So what a canine demo does is basically we show uh, like a brief idea of what these police dogs can do. They're an amazing tool, and it's actually they're a great support for our daily operations in any environment. So that's one of the events we have going on. We also gonna have members of our dive team, uh, a new dive team that we have, fairly new. I'll say probably 3 years ago, uh, to also show some of the equipment that they use for rescue and search when we have incidents that involve uh, water, and then we have to go in there in the search for items or victims. We're also going to have members of our SWAT team. SWAT team has been around our department for many, many, many years. We've been very fortunate to acquire equipment that uh, it haven't cost a penny to the municipality, and that is important. That is important for us because this is equipment that is there to again provide extra safety to our officers. Okay, these are when the SWAT team gets called out, then is because there might be a highly operation going uh, at that time, and the risks escalate, and that's why they're out there. And we need every single tool that can protect our citizens, our community, and our officers as well. Uh, from from the town side, I have to extend my gratitude to the chief of staff, Xiomara. She has been helping us a lot with this event. She actually came out with great ideas, and it has been a great support for this event on next Tuesday.
Well, if anybody has an event in town, it's a good idea to talk to Zamaro Capo.
Yeah.
She is the chief of staff for the town manager, Ram Zarnetsky. And I work with Zamaro myself on several things. And I should say, did I say I was Dennis O'Brien? I hope everybody knows that by now. Been on the air for more than 20 years. And I'm here today without Susan Johnson. Susan Johnson is, she took a week off to visit her old, where she used to go in the summer all the time. And she was born in Bangor, Maine, and her family's from Maine, and her father's family was from Washington County, Maine, right up near the Canadian border, but real close to the seacoast. Very nice place. And she's up there visiting, bringing our granddaughters up there to familiarize our granddaughters with, her family history, because we want them to know about, my father and my mother and all the people who came before. It's very important for our kids, I think, to know a lot about history, including their own family. So Susan's up there, taking a trip up there, and she's a nice lake up there. There are actually people who live in town who have lived up there. And actually, one of them is a former police officer. And anyway, it's a really nice place. So she's up there until Sunday. So I'm here on my own, and I'm on my own hosting the show. So fortunately, I've got an excellent guest here who knows what to say, and he's got it all. He's got it all down. He is the chief. He's in charge. And I just wanted to ask a couple of questions about the event, which is the National Night Out.
Correct.
And when I first heard that, when you came to the, see, I'm a member of the Willimantic Taxing District Board of Directors. Willimantic Taxing District Board of Directors, in case you haven't heard, and I've talked about it a little bit on the air, is a board that specifically is addressed to the finances of mainly the police department and the fire departments. But in order for us to do our job properly, we need to know as much as we can about what the departments do. And I'll tell you, the last 2 years for me have been a real eye-opener. I've learned an awful lot about how our police department and fire departments function, the difficulties that they have in doing their job, keeping people safe in our town, and their success in doing that, which is remarkable, outstanding. And so I think at our last meeting, Chief Silva and Chief Palmer of the fire department came up to the microphone together, and they announced that we were having this event next Tuesday, the National Night Out. And when I heard night out, it sounds like, well, my wife says we should have a night out. That means I got to go take her to the movies or something. And if it's up to me, I'll take her to a basketball game or something, or a baseball game. But no, this is a night out, and it's really an evening. It's from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. next Tuesday, August 5th. I'm going to be repeating that because I don't want people to forget. So it's next Tuesday, August 5th, and everybody's welcome. We want to see as many people there as possible, especially the kids, but the adults too. And well, if the kids are very young, the adults got to be there. But as a former children's court judge, I know that very well. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be there right at 4 o'clock. I don't want to miss a minute because there are all kind of things that are going to go on that I don't know that much about, even though I've been working with the police and the fire departments for a couple of years now, and even a couple of years before that. But I've been on a board now that is elected only from the city, and it's not an automatic seat for a town council member like it used to be when I was on the town council. So I've had to learn a lot, and thanks to Chief Silva and Chief Palmer, I have and many others in the police and fire departments, I have learned a lot, but I still have a lot to learn because there's an awful lot to learn. It's not the way it used to be when my father's younger brother, who would be about 110 years old if he were alive today, was a beat cop. Mm-hmm. He was a cop on the beat. In fact, he didn't even have his driver's license. He walked the beat in New Britain, Connecticut. He knew everybody. It was downtown. He knew everybody in town. He could have retired and run for public office, but he was a great guy and a great football player as well. And his name was Big Jim O'Brien, and he was a beat cop. And what we're talking about here, this event on Tuesday, really is all about interacting with the community. That the police department interacts with the community a lot, and some of it is very positive, and some of it is when trouble occurs and you have to deal with it. So it's important for the community to get to know the police and the police officers and how they operate, and also the fire department. And one of the things I'm really interested in is you're going to be. You talk about the dog. I want to see the demonstration with the police dog. It's very interesting to me, and it should be to you, to note that our last two chiefs of police, both prior to that, were canine officers. You did it for 6 years.
Correct.
And before that, I think Chief Hussey
did it for many years.
Did it for many years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you had Fina. Fina. That I remember when she passed.
Yes.
Everybody. It was a big, Well, it was like an officer had passed, and she was an officer.
She wasn't.
So why don't you talk a little bit about your experience with the dogs, and what people can expect on Tuesday?
Yes. As I mentioned, National Night Out is definitely a family event. We expect families come with their children. We're gonna have a lot activities for them as far as like face painting, a petting zoo, bouncy houses, free food for those that wish to attend, and it's going to be a great event. And it's going to be a great event, Dennis. Yes, Kenai Fina was my partner for 6 years, and I have to say that it has been probably the best assignment that I had since I became a police officer. The K9 program in our department is extremely well recognized in Connecticut, thanks to Chief Hussey. He did put a lot of time, even though from his off time, into training these dogs and making the Willimantic Police Department known in other municipalities. He was going, as I mentioned before, around the state and even around the country to help out to train dogs for military service and also law enforcement. So yes, so we are trying to keep up our program and continue just enhancing it and make it stronger. Right now we still have 3 dogs, Canine Jax, Canine Dak, and our new guy who has been already on the force probably for almost 2 years, Canine Briggs. He's the youngest one. So we are going to maintain the program and try to make it as successful as Chief Hussey did back in the time. As I say, they're a great tool. Then they work on a help us out to locate suspects and sometimes missing individuals, also to recovery items. So this is what those who attend on Tuesday are going to see. They're going to see the ability of these dogs to be able to recover the small item, because they have a nose that is wonderful. They have a nose that can detect uh, the the um, the skin cells of a human, like miles away. They are great trackers. We use them also, as I mentioned, to track suspects of missing individuals, and they're an amazing tool for our police department. And people seeing them are going to be able to recognize that, and they're going to be very amazed of the capability of these dogs. Not only that, they're also a great asset for the community. I do remember when I was a canine handler, going to many schools around Willimantic, including the high school and the middle school here. But I did also went to North Windham and some other ones to have a field day with the children of the schools, and Fina was amazing because she was like a light switch, Dennis. When she knows she had to work, that switch was on. But when she needed to relax and enjoy the time with the kids, that switch was off. So she was what we call in canine world a very well balanced dog. So it was not one of those dogs that you cannot approach. Again, not all police dogs are like this. It's they also have their own personality as humans, right? Uh, so my advice is always make sure you ask the handler, as you should use as a general rule to approach any dog. Make sure you always ask the owner, "Hey, can I approach your dog?" Because they will be able to let you know, yeah, he's friendly, she's friendly, or he's not, or she's not. So our dogs are very well balanced, and I hope that the community can come and see that part of the job that not many people does, because they usually only get deployed when in particular situations. They don't get utilized all the time, but this is the opportunity for all our citizens and residents here in Willimantic to come and see what their police dogs can do.
I'm really interested because I don't know that much about dogs. I've never owned a dog. I have a we have a grand doggy because our daughter has a dog, and my wife goes over there. Our daughter doesn't live very far away from us, right around the corner, and my wife goes over and walks that dog. She calls it her grand doggy,
Yeah.
and her name is Honey, and the animal is so smart, and not trained to do police work, but I can
Yeah.
imagine how if they start, I imagine at a very young age,
Correct.
just like with children, with human children.
Correct.
I'm a big advocate for having a mandatory school at age 3, because I think kids at age 3, they are open to everything, and they're capable of soaking it up all kinds of information. And I think we're we have preschool, but it is voluntary, and
Mm-hmm.
if it was up to me, I think it would be mandatory, because I think kids in school at 3, if they're not in preschool, they're missing out on 2 years of
Mm-hmm.
education by people who really know how to educate children and who really care about the children. Not to say the parents aren't good at it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just a different approach. And it's hard for parents today. They have to work and they have other things to do. But anyway, I don't think I've ever been in the presence, though I've lived here for an awful long time, of any of the dogs, the police dogs. I don't think I have. And I know Chief Hussey had several, I believe.
Yes.
And now do the dogs live with their handler?
Yes. Yes. Most likely they are with the handler all the time, and we do it to create a bond,
Yeah.
a stronger bond between the handler and the dog. Right. It's my understanding that in the military sometimes they switch handlers, but here we just try to prevent that, so that bond it gets stronger between the handler and their dog. So
That makes
yes,
sense.
they're all the time with them. That's why. in our department, as in many other ones around the state, I'll have to say probably most of it, all the canine handlers uh, take their dogs home, and obviously we provide them with transportations, with the canine vehicles, so they can mobilize their dogs, because these cruisers are very special, and they're fitted for an animal, right? Uh, they do have what we call door poppers. They do have heat sensors, and they're specialized to be able to transport a dog from point A to point B. So they're gonna be able to also see one of the cruisers, of course, because uh, one of our handlers is going to be there. So they're gonna have the ability to uh, see how a police canine car looks like.
You anticipated my next question, but when I thought about it as you were talking, I said, of course they're going to have one of those vehicles there because they're going to bring the dog over in one of the vehicles because they're
Yes,
used to that.
yes, that's
And
correct.
that's excellent. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to see that. Was it one of the dogs will be there?
Yes, yes. Canine Jax is going to be there with his handler, Corporal LaChapelle. Mhm.
Okay, and is Jax the oldest canine you have there now?
Jax is the second oldest one, I believe, and you're gonna have to quote me on that because I think that he's very close to Dak. No matter matter of fact, Dak is the oldest one, so Jax is in the middle. Yeah, Jax is it is a German Shepherd, but he has some looks of a Belgian Malinois too. So Jax is around I have to say 6 years. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
So if you have three dogs, do they have three separate handlers?
Yes, correct.
They do. Okay, so each dog is committed to a certain handler.
To one officer.
There's
Yes.
no. I would imagine that having two dogs with one handler would probably be tough.
Yes.
Maybe the dogs get jealous of the attention and stuff
Yes.
like normal dogs do and cats.
Not only that, but I also remember, Dennis, that they are pack animals, right?
Yes, yes.
And as a pack animal,
Yeah.
even though that all these dogs are some sort of like an alpha personality,
Yeah.
as a pack animal, they have to have a leader.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
if you
yeah,
have
yeah.
if you have two separate handlers, they're going to get confused. They will not know who is really the leader, so they will not
Yep,
probably listen their commands.
yep.
It is important for them. That's why we create that bond, right? That's why we allow them
Sure.
to stay with them as long as possible, because then they're going to be able to obey the handler as the handler desires to. Now, if you bring somebody else who's gonna tell them to do something, they might not do it.
Right.
And I refer
That's understandable.
when I was training canine Dennis, I always refer to when I was doing canine demos, I always refer to this story, right? It is like when your parents are asking you to make the bed, right? Sometimes you have respect for both, but sometimes you listen to one of those more
Sure.
than the other one. So
Yeah.
mom might have asked you, go make up your bed, and you say, yeah, no, whatever, I'll do it later. Well, maybe dad asked you, go make up your bed. You better go make up your bed,
Yeah.
otherwise you're gonna get in trouble. So
Yeah. Well,
um,
that what kids do, as you probably know, is they play one parent off against the other, and
absolutely,
dad said this and mom said that, and
absolutely,
mom said it was okay. It's okay with you, dad. That kind of thing. And this is a real interesting discussion because I've learned I never had an animal when I was a kid, and my mother didn't want one around. And I'll tell you, I grew up in a neighborhood that was loaded with other kids. I never even thought about having an animal. I had lots of friends my own age, and there's a park right down the
yeah,
street. A couple of the kids in the huge neighborhood development I grew up in New Britain. I did have dogs, but there were and a few cats, but not many animals in the neighborhood. Oh, lots of kids. So I never had one, and I'll tell you what. If I had to all do over again, I really think it's good for a child to have at least one animal, a cat or a dog in the house. I would choose cats. I'm a cat person. We'll talk about that. We're gonna have to take a break now.
okay,
The show is already. See, time is flying. It's already half over. We're going to take a break. I'm here with Chief Fabian Silva. He is the chief of the Willimantic Police Department, and we are here talking about a very important event coming up on Tuesday, Chief. And that event is.
National Night Out from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
That's Tuesday, the 5th of August. We're already in August. Today is August 1st. Anyway, we'll be right back after these messages from our wonderful sponsors. Hey, Dennis O'Brien back here. I didn't mention we're also here with Matt Rupar, outstanding producer of our show, and God, about what, 10 or 12 others now.
Just about, yeah.
Wow. I mean, they're keeping you busy here, Matt. And anyway, Matt Rupar is here. We also have Chief Fabian Silva of the Willimantic Police Department. And we're talking about the big event coming up next Tuesday, August 5th, the National Night Out. The National Night Out Wyndham Willimantic version.
Correct.
It's going to be at Gilson Square.
That is correct. So we used to. I do remember when I was patrolling to have been in a couple of the national night outs in the past that they were not being done here in Willimantic. They were actually done in North Windham, where we brought a couple of officers and we interact with them and other law enforcement agencies as well as fire departments. But then I decided to bring that back to our home here in Willimantic. Especially since we have a fantastic place as the Gilson Square, now also known as the Shabu stage, to do this type of events. And I approached Chief Palmer with the idea, and he was also welcoming to it and embraced the idea that we have been working together to make this happen. And again, as I mentioned, with the support of the town and the Chief of Staff, Xiomara. So I am very excited, and I hope we can have a great outcome out of this first community engagement opportunity since I was appointed as chief of police. I believe in networking, I believe in transparency, I believe in engagement with our community because we need their support. We need their support, Dennis, and that is how I tend to lead this department too. I want to move it towards a better, interaction and understanding of the issues that we have here in Willimantic. So I'm looking forward, and this is not going to be the only one. We will have more coming. My predecessors did a fantastic job. I remember also have been involved in the past with Deputy Chief Claude for the Citizens Academy. I don't know if you heard about that as well.
Oh, yes, of course.
It is also an important program that we have, so citizens are involved with the daily operations and tasks of our police officers. So I'll bring that back. I'll bring that back probably by next coming fall. This is most likely that a wait ahead invitation for all of those that want to participate. Obviously, I will come out with more details as we get closer to the dates that we have designated for this event. But,
Yeah, I believe that was very popular when it was being
Yeah.
done. And I think, one of the reasons that I am still involved in local government at age, I'll admit it, I just turned 82, is because of this guy, Chief Silva, and Chief Palmer, because of the attitude they have and the positive attitudes they have about public safety and about interacting with the community. And they're both very well capable and fit to do that. And they, I think this is wonderful. I think we were doing well on that in the past, but there's always room for improvement. And I think so. This is the first time then that you will have had this national night out at the Gilson Square.
yeah, the
So this is a new
Yeah.
thing for Willimantic.
Yes, it is the first time that we are doing it here in Willimantic. People might be familiar with it from previous times when it was being done, in the North Windham area, I believe so. But this is the first time that we're going to do it here, and we had a great list of partners that if you give me the opportunity,
Sure.
I will mention because
Absolutely.
as I mentioned in the past, Dennis, I believe in networking. This is nothing that we can do ourselves alone. We need great partnership as I have feel it from the fire department with Chief Palmer and many other agencies that are out there that are seeking just to make this community better, and from the long list that I have, I'll try to just mention obviously as many as I can, but it's my understanding that we have Casella Generations Family Health Center, Eversource Access Agency, the 211 United Way, United Services, CHR, DCF, Project EMO, the Willimantic Public Library, um, NWACP, the Board of Education, and Salvation Army, ISCON, the Wind and Water Department, among many other ones that are going to be with us on this day. So, yes, it is mainly a police public safety event, but as I mentioned, I think partnership and networking is what is going to project us and will take us to where we need to be. Because sometimes we do things in our police department that we need support from other uh, partners and agencies. And if we don't have this communication, if we don't have this contact, we might not be able to achieve our goals. So
Absolutely.
I am happy, as I say, for all the great response that we have with all these partners, and I'm looking forward to meet a lot of people in this event on Tuesday.
Yeah, our town is just the right size so that, people like you, people like me, can get to know a good percentage of the townspeople. But you have to reach out, and it's harder. I know when I started in politics and government 45 years ago, it was easier because there was only about 4 or 5 channels on TV, and people didn't have cell phones or PCs, and now it's a lot harder. People are, there's many different sources of information and interaction, but there's nothing like one-to-one personal interaction like we're doing right now.
Yes.
Talking to each other, sitting across the table, talking to each other, or meeting at an event like the National Night Out next Tuesday from 4 to 8 p.m. You're going to have an opportunity, folks, to meet with firefighters, with police officers, and other members of the community who are interested in the success of the community. The success of the community. These are not naysayers. These are people who realize that life, like and government and policing and firefighting, like everything else, it's not easy. It's not easy, and it's so much better if we all work together and focus on the positive, and reach out and get to know each other, because we're all in this together, and it really is a great opportunity on Tuesday for people to get to know people better. Like, I know the chief, but I'm going to get to know him better on Tuesday. And some of the officers, I don't know that many of the officers anymore. A lot of the officers I used to know are gone.
That's exactly.
And so there's a lot of young officers, and I know them by sight, and I always say hi to them, and they probably say, "Who is that old guy?" but and I sometimes I will tell them, if they take the time, that I'm on the taxing district board, and I'm there to be supportive of police and fire, and the community as well, and all aspects of the community. So this is just a wonderful idea that you've had to bring this back, and I know Chief Palmer is very enthusiastic about it, and I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of firefighting equipment there too, and a lot of firefighters. I know there'll be firefighters from Wyndham Center Firehouse, and they will be showing off some of the great equipment that they have. And I'll tell you, I've been meaning to take a trip over to the police fire complex, and I haven't gotten there. I've been there years ago, but I haven't gotten there. But I'm looking forward to Tuesday, because you're going to bring the equipment to us.
Absolutely.
It's going to be out there, so that's going to be a lot of work.
Yes.
I'm sure you have a lot of people working on
We
this.
are prepared for it, and as I say, we have great support. So we'll be okay. But yes, we're going to bring some of our cruisers. Our drone. I forgot to mention that we're going to have a demonstration where we're a drone, and as I mentioned before, the scuba dive equipment, and the canines and the SWAT equipment that we have to show our community all the tools that allow us to do a better job for public safety and for their well-being.
I'm glad you brought up the drone, because everybody's thinking about drones now. People have, if they haven't heard about them here stateside in the U.S., there's drones being involved in the wars over across
Hmm.
that we're lucky we're not directly involved in ourselves. But there are drones are being used for all kinds of things,
Hmm.
and if you go on Facebook, you see people with drones taking pictures of the town from up above that are
Hmm.
incredibly interesting. So drones can do an awful lot. I don't know much at all about drones, and I'm interested in not only learning about how you function with the police dogs, but also with the drones.
Yeah, absolutely. A drone is also a great tool. And again, using technology in our favor. Of course, our drones are not weaponized, but they're used most likely for search and surveillance and kind of rescue missions also. Because sometimes access to different areas in town is very difficult, and the capabilities that a drone has allow us to actually reach over there and get eyes on it. For us to make a better decision, making a more informative decision on whatever operation we're running, or to collect evidence on particular cases. But again, all these tools are just to allow us to do a better job.
Fantastic. So there'll be at least one drone there.
Yes, we only have one
Okay.
assigned for our SWAT team. Obviously, we use it in other type of calls, and we also have a smaller version of it that we acquired not too long ago to be able to use it inside buildings in case that we have the opportunity to go and deploy that drone into a building instead of, again, all these are tools that allow officers to be more safe instead of an officer going in, you
Absolutely.
know, on a what we call a high impact call. Maybe you can send the drone and then find out first what is going on before officers make entry into that structure.
Yeah, speaking about officer safety, I don't know if the general public or some people in the general public understand how dangerous it is every time you put the uniform on. Because
Yes.
there are people who
Yeah.
are dangerous out there.
That's correct. Unfortunately, recently
I just
we
saw
we, we
something.
lost we lost one of the officers in New York. I'm pretty sure this obviously was national news, and it's not
Yes.
an easy job, Dennis.
No.
I have been doing it for 17 years, and I always uh, pray to be able to get back home.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's why the department is really kind of a paramilitary
Hmm.
operation. It's not the same, but
Hmm.
it's similar.
Correct.
And it has to be. It has to be disciplined. It has to be.
Hmm.
Everything has to be taken seriously. I mean, there's room for, levity and whatnot at
Hmm.
times. Obviously, we all have to, have our sense of humor, and but at the same time, it's a very serious job. It's not
Yes.
something to be taken lightly. I remember when I was judge of probate, I would have to sometimes I would have to go. Oh, there would be somebody who had some sort of a mental problem, and I would have to go as probate judge and go to the site where the person was acting up, and
Hmm.
I would go with police officers, and I'd just start walking in there, and they go, get back, and
Hmm.
they say, oh, no. Look, we got to clear, make sure there's no weapons here, and
Yes.
that kind of thing, and I didn't know. I mean,
Yeah.
what did I know?
Yes.
But I knew I was very much impressed with how professional the police officers were. This was 15, 20 years ago, and also how much they cared about my safety
Hmm.
as judge going in there. And I said, wow, it's great to know that they're concerned about me. And yeah, we had a
Hmm.
break in here down the street. I was at legal aid, and I was the only legal aid lawyer who worked in town, who lived in town. So whenever there was a break in, which was very rare, they would call me. So when the officers walked around the building to check all the offices to see what was the damage, I'd be, wanting to show them. I said, "Oh, get back, get back. There might be somebody
Yes.
still in here." I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never thought of that because I'm not trained."
Yeah. Exactly. Those are the specific situations that somebody who doesn't have this type of training don't think about it, right?
No.
But it happens in every single profession, Dennis. Like I might be unaware of a particular situation that involve a different uh, part of life, or call it like that, because why? Because I don't train for that, right? It's something that I don't live every single day, and it might pass, over me, and I might be distracted, and and not seeing that part of what other person who has that skills will have the tech, as 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 the training experience that they have.
Yeah, I know
Hmm.
that I'm pretty sure that the training that you receive as a new police officer today has got to be much more extensive than it was 30 years ago, 20 years ago.
Hmm.
So you have I missed the last swearing in because I just missed it. It was on a Friday, last Friday,
That's right, correct.
and you had a new officer sworn in.
Yes,
And I think a few weeks before that, you had two new officers
yes,
sworn in. I happened to be there with Tom DeVivo, who's
yes,
always
correct.
Mr. Swearing In guy, and he loves doing that. And
Yes,
he's a big supporter, of course, of Willimantic Police and Fire,
yeah,
just like I am. And so you have been able to recently do some recruiting
yes,
and send some officers off to the be trained.
yes. So yeah, you were right. Our officers need to attend a 22 to 26 weeks academy in any of the different academies that we have in the state. And you were correct. Last Friday, we saw in one of our new officers to approximately 2 months ago. Before that, um, we saw in another two, right? But unfortunately, we already lose one of those,
Oh,
because as I say, this is a very demanding job. This is a very demanding training that is not there for everybody. So, out of those two new officers that I went to the academy, one find out that this was probably no the job for him, and unfortunately, after all the time and resources that we use and we spend on this particular individual, we come and find out that when he was at the academy, he wasn't able to be successful at it. So again, it's not an easy part of the job these days. Trying to find um, good candidates for the position, but we're still doing our best. The idea is obviously to get back to the numbers that we are supposed to be, so we can serve our community in a better way. It is hard when manpower or staff is short, but we're working, and with the support that we have from you guys in Taxing District, with this new contract that our officers had, I have no doubt that we will be in a better shape in a year from today, Dennis. So thank you very much for that
I
support
think
also.
we're doing very well with you as the new chief. It was a tough situation where we had Chief Hussey leave all of a sudden, and then we had Chief Scrivener leave from the fire department, and we also had town manager leave. All that all took place earlier this year. We
Hmm.
replaced all three of them with excellent candidates, and things are going very smoothly. And I'm very, very positive and optimistic. And we're down to our last minute, believe it or not.
Time pass flying, huh?
What are we going to do next Tuesday?
N-
Remind our listeners.
National Night Out from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please come and join us. Uh, it's going to be a great night for family to interact with their public safety officials, and come find out, educate yourself about what we do, experience and recognize the tools that we utilize for fire and police, and just come and have a good time. Come and support your public safety because we're there for you guys, and we expect you guys to be there for us.
Wonderful. There's going to be something there for everybody. Please come Tuesday, August 5th, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., Jolson Square. I'll be there. I'll look for you, and please stop by and say hi to me, too, even though I'm not a police officer or a firefighter. I am interested very much. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Chief Silva.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Dennis.
being on the show. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Have a good night. We'll be back next week with another excellent guest.